Hello and welcome to Grand Farmer. We're excited to announce that our podcast has undergone a rebranding. Emerging Grower is now Grand Farmer. Our goal is to put growers first and allow them to share their perspective on the latest innovations in the industry, and we believe we can better fulfill our goal of fostering a dialogue between growers and the broader agriculture ecosystem with this name. This podcast is energized by Grand Farm, which is enabling technology to feed the world by facilitating collaboration on innovation solving some of the world's largest challenges in agriculture technology. My name is Cameron McNabb, and I'm a member of the Grand Farm team who is helping facilitate this podcast. On April 4th, Grand Farm will be hosting the Space Ag Conference, which seeks to explore advanced agriculture technologies to transform the ag tech industry in space. This conference will be located at the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks. To learn more, visit www.grandfarm.com, and we hope to see you there. In this month's episode, we have Rob, Saik, and Courtney discussing digital revolution in farming and how it should be navigated. Rob is the Chief Executive Officer and founder of AGvisorPRO, a company that started in early 2020, which connects decision makers in agriculture to the advice, professionals, and services that they need to move forward with confidence. Kyle is a grower from Dickey County, North Dakota. On his farm, he grows corn, soybeans, and wheat. He's also a past member of Dickey County's Water Resource Board, as well as the chairman of Dickey County FSA Board, and currently CEO of Rentease. We hope you enjoy Rob and Kyle's conversation and are able to gain a greater insight in the world of agriculture.
Hi, everybody. My name is Robert Saik, and my background is plant physiology, soil chemistry, and crop nutrition. I've started many companies, including the AgriTrend Group, which was a 20-year journey. We were involved in agronomy, precision ag, grain marketing strategies, farm business management, carbon credits, all built on a data platform, and that was acquired by Trimble. I served as Trimble Global Business Development until my exit concluded in 2018. 2019, I served as CEO of DOT, the robotics company, and we eventually exited that to Raven. And simultaneously with that DOT experience, I founded AGvisorPRO, which is a brand new connectivity platform, now an ecosystem for agriculture. I've written a couple books on ag tech and speak internationally. In fact, today I am in Coralville, Iowa, speaking at the Farm Futures Conference today. So background is quite varied, but a lot of it surrounds ag tech and the integration of technology adoption, education in the agricultural sector.
Very impressive, Rob. My name is Courtney. My background is I went to college at NDSU here in Fargo. After I got done with that, I worked in Minneapolis for 3 years because my dad told me I couldn't come back to the farm until I went and got a job somewhere else to experience that. So I didn't think the grass was greener on the other side. After experiencing that for 3 years, I moved back home and I've been a producer ever since. I am also trying to start my first tech company at the moment. So I got that, trying to figure that out as well as on top of farming. And to top that off, I have 5 kids my youngest turned 1 yesterday and my oldest is 7. So a busy household on top of it. There's twins in there too, if you're trying to do the math.
Congratulations on the family. I've got 4 kids and 7 grandkids. So I know that it keeps you busy.
Yes, very much so, but very enjoyable all at the same time. What is unique about AGvisorPRO versus some of the other options that are out there from an internet-based perspective? And then what differentiates you from the local agronomists us as producers are already using?
Well, the genesis of AGvisorPRO really goes back a long ways. With the AgriTrend group of companies, when a agri-coach, who was one of our agronomists working with a geo-coach, a precision ag specialist, had a question from a farmer, they would pull that question back inside the AgriTrend network. And that AgriTrend network, we had pathologists, entomologists, physiologists, economists. We had 22 PhDs and masters who would basically debate that question. Everybody would learn and then the answer would be taken by the agri-coach back to the farmer. In May 2nd of 17, I had the opportunity to spend 6 hours with Bill Gates, and like him or hate him, I found the guy to be totally fascinating. And we had 6 hours to discuss the technology that I built inside of AgriTrend with the AgriData solution and the carbon credits that we had traded. By the way, we traded over $50 million worth of carbon credits already. So, but the idea was to take and leverage technology to shrink time and space. My thesis is a farm generally has two ecosystems. One is his buddies, or you could call it the coffee shop or whatever that is, his beer buddies. The second one is the people selling him fertilizer, chemical, seed, and equipment and stuff. But there's another one that we need to develop, and that is a group of experts that the farmer does not know. So how do you connect with an expert that you do not know? And I am totally frustrated with Twitter and Facebook and even LinkedIn. So in August of 18, I formulated a strategy where it brought together 4 technologies for the benefit of agriculture. The first one being eHarmony, or a matching algorithm between the question, which is asked anonymously. Nobody wants to look stupid. So the questions come into AGvisorPRO anonymously, but they are geotagged. The question then uses our algorithm, that's our first provisional patent, to match the question to the domain or the subdomain experts who are either independent experts or company experts who can see that question and respond to it. The scheduling, this is the Uberization now. So you got eHarmony, now Uber. You can schedule the ride and you can pay for the ride if the independent expert needs to get paid or you want to pay them. The connectivity, this is the FaceTiming now. There's no phone calls in AgvisorPRO. There's no texting. There's no Google meetings. There's no Zoom meetings. All the connectivity is built inside the platform, providing for instantaneous connection. And the last piece of the puzzle is the Twitterization, or the curiosity side, where what keeps a person coming back to AgvisorPRO is additional knowledge being ramped on top of the topics and the questions and the areas of interest that you're following. So right now, we have all kinds of questions coming into AgvisorPRO. Today, we were dealing with a question around the Seedmaster SR Seedmaster single rank for canola versus cereal grains. Yesterday, it was around some kind of a calf ration. Before that, it was around insurance. And we've also started public communities, which a week ago we launched. And today there are a regenerative ag, a precision ag, and a drone public community, as well as private communities on AgvisorPRO. So it's unlike anything in agriculture. It doesn't really exist on the planet, and it's exclusive for ag. And the discourse inside of AgvisorPRO is professional, and you don't get the dribble that you get on the other social medias.
So are you open sourcing it? If I was a member of AgvisorPRO, I could search all the questions that have been asked just to increase my knowledge base that way, or is it specific to me as a grower to ask my own questions?
There's 2 ways. First of all, the answer is yes. When you download AgvisorPRO, there's no paywall or anything, so you can, as little as 90 seconds, you're on the platform and you can start using it. And you can start using it in 2 ways. Number one is you can use our search engine, which is very powerful, and you can search, I don't know, corn rootworm, and you would have you would quickly see all of the conversations that have been had with corn rootworm, and you could go back and look at that archive. You could also see the experts that were tied to the corn rootworm discussion and any companies that would be involved. So that's all free. You can follow the questions that you want for free. So the answer is you can instantaneously start working on it. The companies that are there, they pay to be on the platform. So they're paying basically to be involved in the conversations, and hopefully they'll add value and maybe find some customers along the way. And if you choose to pay for an expert like Tom Wolf, who's a sprayer expert who could actually help you fine tune your sprayer in season, well, Tom should get paid for that. And we've created the mechanism so you can your credit card could get debited and his credit card could get debited. So that's all built into the platform, as well as a virtual farmers market. So we built a virtual farmers market where there's a whole bunch of virtual services and things that you can buy from experts in that virtual farmers market. For example, Felix Weber could give you, in 1 hour, he could give you all you need to know about drone regulations in agriculture. So this is where my brain is going. And I know we can do the first part already, that whole ability of being able to use your phone. And as an agronomist, I do not need to walk out to your field to diagnose the difference between a nitrogen and sulfur deficiency in corn. I just have to be able to ask you the right questions, and I have to be able to see what you see. And if we can use technology to shrink time and space, then I don't need to drive my white pickup truck, 3 hours to visit you in your cornfield.
How are you going to ensure producers are getting the proper information? Are you going to have a review system on the experts? If they are accurate with their information, other experts can give them 5 stars or a thumbs up, or the producer can give them a thumbs up and a 5-star? Because a lot of things with producers, as I'm sure you're well aware of, there's a lot of trust between our coffee buddies and our group of people that we work with. We know we can trust with the questions. It's a little bit harder to earn a producer's trust when you don't have a name or you're trusting a situation like that. How are you going to overcome that hurdle?
Well, first of all, there is no anonymity. When the question is anonymous, but the people who respond to your question, they're not anonymous. So you know right away whether these guys are, how real these guys are, by reading the resumes and stuff like that. Number 2, we verified those resumes. So we verified those credentials. So there's no fluff on the system. Number 3 is that there's a review system. So over time, again, we're still pretty new, but over time, that review system will start to rise the cream to the crop, as I've mentioned. And number 4 is, and I know that there are very few black and white answers in agriculture. Agriculture is nuanced. So as I watch the questions going on around Pivot Bio right now. So Pivot Bio is being debated inside of AGvisorPRO. And I'm watching, I think there's 12 people that have responded to Pivot Bio's, or the Pivot Bio question. Pivot Bio is not on our platform yet, but they should be, because people are talking about them. But as you read those questions, you get a sense. Well, one guy said I got about 50-50 response, and some other guy said I'm not sure. But then we got this awesome response out of Colorado where the guy just explained a whole bunch of stuff. And you know what? I may have silver hair and I may have been around the industry a long time, but I learned a ton. And I don't think, and at the end of the day, it is up to the farmer to make the decision. The decision is made. They have to make the decision. But the more information and the more people speaking into your decision is way better off than one guy saying, yeah, we got a great deal on this product, put it on, it'll work, I promise you. It's way better off to have multiple people speaking into it and you formulate your own opinion. AGvisorPRO is not a consulting company. We are not a recommendation company. We are not an agronomic company. We're involved in aquaculture and viticulture and indoor farming and equipment and livestock. We are a connectivity ecosystem. So I have to say all of that so you understand it. It's like somebody saying, well, I want to blame Twitter if I get a bad answer on Twitter. Well, no, you don't. It's your fault. I mean, at the end of the day, you need to make the decision.
Okay. Number 1 question probably farmers are going to have is, how do you monetize this? And what would be our cost to get involved with it?
This is really interesting. Like right now, I said it takes about 90 seconds to download AGvisorPRO on iOS and Android, and you get on and you start using it. And the farmers right away say to me, well, how are you getting paid? And it's a really good question, because a long time ago, I learned that if it's free, then you are the product. Well, I needed to get AGvisorPRO off and lift it off the ground. And we've got 5 income streams that we're working on. Number 1, companies. We have a thing called the AGvisorPRO Market Access Program. So companies can list themselves, their reps and their overview and some of their services and products on AGvisorPRO, and companies pay us a monthly subscription. So fair enough. Inside of our virtual marketplace, when independents or companies list their products inside of our virtual marketplace, we'll get a chunk of the commission. So fair enough. Number 3 is if you engage with an expert and the expert says, I can really help you, this needs to be done this needs to be done in a one-on-one room inside of AGvisorPRO. I do not want to do this publicly. I want to do this just with you, but I got to charge you $100, $150 to do this. This is where I leverage my knowledge and wisdom. Do you agree? If you say yes, then a work order is created, an invoice is created, your credit card is credited, his is debited, and we make a chunk of it like an Uber ride, like Uber takes a chunk of the ride. The 4th revenue stream is private communities. And right now we're working with three private communities. One of them is a Case IH dealership. One of them is actually Grand Farms of North Dakota that's hooking together a startup ecosystem in North Dakota. And the third private one we're playing with is Farmers Mutual Hail out of Iowa. And these are private communities, and eventually we'll make money by monetizing the private communities. And the last one we're playing with is a subscription. Would farmers pay, $9 a month or $12 a month to be part of AGvisorPRO so that we can pay the independent people that are acting as moderators inside of our communities? And I'm hoping the answer is yes. So if you ask how we're going to monetize AGvisorPRO, that's how we're going to do it. But we had to build the product first, and we've literally poured millions of dollars into the platform. I've personally poured a lot of my money and my time into AGvisorPRO because I can't explain it to you until you can see it in your hand, in your phone.
You kind of have a 2-pronged challenge. You have to get experts that sign up with you to build that side of the platform out, and you need to get producers signed up with you to build that side of the product out. Are you trying to do this organically, marketing service, getting your name out there with podcast situations like that? How are you tackling that aspect of the?
Well, that is exactly the challenge. Now, getting experts has not been too big of a problem. In fact, we have people from Brazil and Uganda and Philippines and United States and United Kingdom on the platform already. That's kind of organic, and we've been bringing on a lot of experts, and that's pretty darn cool. We've got over 700 experts on the platform right now. I know we've got beekeeping experts, we've got indoor farming experts. I got a tree fruit entomologist out of Arizona. A lot of different expertises already on the platform. Getting the farmers on is harder. We initially started working with some digital strategies where I spent money on Google display ads and so on and so forth. We got a lot of downloads, but we never got the right people. And so we've been spending a lot more time on working with influencer marketing, the likes of Damian Mason and Shit You Need to Know podcast with Kyle and those guys. And that has been working because farmers trust people they know. And when they hear from people they know that AGvisorPRO is a real thing. I mean, people aren't going to endorse it unless they've tried it, used it, and like it. And so we have been working with that. I have been just traveling a ton, speaking at the Precision Farming Dealers Conference, No-Till Farmer. Today I'm at Farm Futures. I was at Visions yesterday in Arizona. So I'm doing the evangelizing on the road. And eventually, as we raise our next round of capital, which we're into right now, we desperately need to do that. We will start to spend some money on traditional advertising to raise the awareness. But nothing beats infection. And if you recall back in the COVID days, there was a terminology called R0. And if you tell 2 people about AGvisorPRO and they tell 2 people, I want an R0 too. So and I think the network effect is starting to catch because we're growing at the rate in excess of 23% month on month right now.
impressive. I can tell you from my perspective, if I downloaded this without having this conversation or doing the research on it. So let me back up a second. If you're going to give an elevator speech to a producer, because you said that's where the trouble shot is, 2 minutes or less, because then you lose people's attention, what would it be?
Well, it'd be the number one thing that I can give farmers is confidence by talking to expertise they otherwise couldn't find. And the confidence allows them to make decisions better. I think that McKinsey said that the farmers are spending about 19% of their time on devices just searching for shit. So if we can shorten that time lag, like you can go right now in AGvisorPRO and search. You can search, seed drill. You can search planters, and people will come up and start talking to you about that. That I think is money in the bank.
I would agree with you on that. I spend a lot of time, wasted time, looking for things that are hard to find the answer to. And if I had one common platform to go to, that would save a lot of time, and actually I can see the value in that. Then the second thing from my perspective that I would look for is a trusted source that I'm already connected with. You hit the nail on the head. If you have somebody that I know personally that I've worked with in the past that I have respect for as one of your experts, right there is going to be a hook, line, and sinker for me, especially with everything else you've said already. So I guess I'm sure you're probably already doing this, but from a geographic perspective, if you targeted not necessarily every county, but maybe every other county within a state and got one expert in, because the egg community's large, but it's still relatively tight-knit and small to a certain degree. We know a lot of people within the field and industry. And if you're able to get somebody within that geographic area where I was able to pop it up, oh man, I know this person, pick up the phone, make that call, that's a connection.
Well, sure. And the beautiful part about AGvisorPRO is if you, like anybody I talk to, so I'm in Iowa right now, and I'll go, okay, let's search the United States, let's search Iowa, boom, up come these experts. And invariably, the people in Iowa go say, hey, I know that guy. And to the point, you don't have to pick up the phone. You just hit a button. You never give out your cell phone numbers, and the experts on the platform can set their hours. So if I have your phone number, I text you on a Sunday afternoon, I have wrecked your Sunday. But with AGvisorPRO, you never actually give out your cell numbers. You set your hours on AGvisorPRO, and if you're available, your phone will ring and it'll say AGvisorPRO, Kyle calling or whatever. And then I know it's a real person who's interested in agriculture and not some phone fisher.
So from an expert's point of view, why would an expert want to get involved with AGvisorPRO?
Well, a number of reasons. First of all, most of us have gotten involved in agriculture in one form or another because we love the industry, and most of us want to give back. So if there's a quick question on AGvisorPRO and I can offer a little bit of information, and I will do that, and I get a helpful, like a thumbs up back to me, makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Second reason is that a lot of people are interested in increasing their client base and increasing their business. So if I'm a young agronomist and I don't know who to talk to, but I can find farmers interested in me in AGvisorPRO, then I might be able to expand my consulting business. The third group that I'm really interested in is the silver hairs. These are the domain experts from university, land grant colleges, companies that have had illustrious careers with deep domain knowledge and, quote unquote, may want to retire, certainly don't want to travel as much anymore because travel is horrendous, but still have tremendous knowledge and wisdom that can support the industry. Well, you could be on a beach in Mexico. I don't care. If you can answer my question and I can pay you $50 to do it, I am happy to do so. My God, I just got information from one of the best PhDs who understands the sclerotinia life cycle. And I got great information. It's unbiased. I'm willing to pay for it. And I don't care where you are. I think I can keep silver hairs engaged much longer in the industry through AGvisorPRO than otherwise.
So if that example, that silver hair gave that sclerotinia answer, is that open for other people to search and look for at that point?
Yes, that answer is open. If that question was posed and the silver hair just answered quickly, that is public. But if the answer needed to be deeper, in other words, it goes, there's much more to this, specifically about your farm. We need to go deeper. We need to go offline. No, that's not available. That's between you and them.
Okay. So you have both options there. If you want to dive in, you can bring that in. And that's probably where the cost structure would come into play. If I took somebody private with a question, I would definitely want to compensate them for their time.
That's exactly the point. I think there's a lot of questions where you can get multiple sets of answers back, and it's very useful to you, and you get insight. But if you want to go and get a customized response from a real high knowledge base, then that's probably going into a private room or a private discussion on the platform.
Okay. So we've touched on it a little bit, but I want to dive into it a little bit more. What are all the branches of the tree you're targeting here? Agronomy, technology, what are the other ones?
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring up the app, and I'm just gonna refer to it to make sure that I'm not missing what I want to share with you. I'm gonna open up my profile, and I'm gonna go into my areas. So there's four big categories: crops, agronomy, fertility, equipment, mechanical, software, business, finance, human resources, and livestock health and nutrition. So these are the big ones.
Yep.
Inside of crops, there's field crops, row crops. Now, those are arguably could be divided into two, but AGvisorPRO is still pretty new. So we've got 339 experts in the field crop, row crop. Fertilizers, soil, nutrients, 325 experts. Crop nutrition, crop protection, 277 experts. Specialty crops, organic, 108 there. Forage crops, carbon, indoor farming, regenerative. Under equipment, the categories include GPS, IT monitors, precision ag and data management, harvest equipment, handling, grain handling, sprayers, seeding, fertigation, tillage, seed treaters, tractors, drones, grain drying. Under business, you've got commodity marketing, business development, finance, human resources, succession planning, insurance, farm real estate, public relations, lending. And under livestock right now, we've got cattle, beef production, dairy production, equestrian horses, 52 horse experts, beekeeping, 64 beekeeping expert, other animals, swine, genomics and breeding. And we haven't opened up aquaculture yet, but we need to. And then so the answer to the short answer is any area of agriculture anywhere on the planet Earth. We're only in the English language right now. We're only in English right now, but you can see that if you were interested in agriculture and just wanted to follow the conversations, you would learn a lot. Down the line, and this is down the line, but wouldn't it be cool for us to be able to connect consumers with farmers who could answer questions about agriculture and food production? But those farmers would have to be vetted. They'd have to be well-trained. But wouldn't it be cool to be able to connect consumers to have direct conversation with farmers? We haven't built that yet, but you can see where this could go.
And that is probably one of the biggest hurdles I see with agriculture right now. The general population 40, 50 years ago was one generation removed from the farm. So they still had that connection to it. The more time passes, the further that happens, the less people understand what happens on a farm. As a farmer myself, people always talk about taking care of the property or climate change or taking care of the land. I don't think there's a better steward of the land than a farmer, because we want to pass, it's multi-generational in a lot of operations, and you want to take care of it to the best of your ability to pass it on to the next generation. And I think every farmer I know wants to leave the land in better shape than what they got it. And those are the stories that we need to get to the consumer that are out there. I think if we can figure out a way to do that, that would help no matter your political view, it would help ease some of those concerns about climate change and what happens on a farm.
No question. I mean, you're a farmer, so obviously you've got to drive a round-fendered pickup truck, and you must be dressing in bib overalls and driving your pickup truck into your little red barn, aren't you? Isn't that the message?
Yeah, we'll roll with that for right now.
But getting back to I've written a couple books on the issue. I talk a lot about this. The only way to feed the planet and to make sure that agriculture can stay infinitely sustainable and feed people is through something called sustainable intensification. It's the only way. We have to sustainably intensify how we farm. And so, we passed peak land a while ago. And so as the population grows and wants to, not even grows, as population grows, but people want to eat more nutritious food. And I'm all for that. And so as we are trying to bring more, nutritious food with a smaller, like producers are being asked right now to produce and reduce. They're being asked to protect and to restore all at the same time. So to do all of that, we have to practice something called sustainable intensification. To do that, we need to adopt the technology that's coming out every day that can make farming better. The problem is our legacy model of adoption of technology at farm level is too slow, and we need a way to de-risk that adoption of technology quicker. And the only way I know how to do that is by connecting farmers to expertise faster to give them confidence faster.
Communication. All comes down to communication, and from my perspective. Last big question I have for you. If you put on a set of glasses and you can look at the future 10 years from now in an ideal world, where do you see agriculture?
Well, from the standpoint of what I see, I would hope that in 10 years we could have cured some of the disconnects in the data platform so that data flows better, so that we are making better decisions based on facts instead of gut. So I hope that over time, red, blue, green, yellow, purple data could flow. I would hope that we could get the human being disconnected from data. So if I ask you what the fertilizer that went on the North 40 on that field 2 years ago, if I depend on you to put in that data, that's a lost cause. I mean, we need to have the machines providing the as applied data. I worry a little bit about the disconnection between good agronomy and technology, because I've said this before. Poor agronomy plus precision ag is poor agronomy precisely applied, and so I worry about that. I think that hopefully the discourse in 10 years will have changed, where agriculture is actually seen positively in terms of agriculture's ability to be a positive impact on the climate. I would hope that would happen. Robotics, for sure. We're going to see a lot more robotics and automation because we have to. We're going to see a lot more data coming from the farm because of sensor technology that's going to be out there. There'll continue to be two kinds of farms: larger, more consolidated, more, call them farmers of consequence, because economies of scale. And we'll see, I think, the continued rise of smaller urban farms that are lifestyle farmers. I think we'll see that. I would hope that we'll see the ability for farmers to monetize their carbon mitigation strategies. So if you're using nitrogen stabilizers or sectional shutoff, that you could actually get compensated for the good things you're doing. That would be something that I would hope we could see in the next number of years. I think that augmented reality, I'm not so sure where the metaverse will fit in, but I do see augmented reality where you have glasses and you look down at the soil and see soil tests, look at the plants, see the plant tissue levels. I think those things, look at the animal and know the history of the animal just with augmented reality. I think that makes our expertise stronger, and I'd like to see that coming. I see a really bright future for technology. I call them farm technology integrators, and they don't have to be farm kids, but kids that are really, really good at the exportation, importation of shapefiles and the movement of data and how to hook up these systems to make them work. I see a real bright future for farm technology integrators, and perhaps the term is tech agronomists in the future. So lots of real positive things. I'm a cornucopian. I believe the world will get better, continue to get better. There are lots of areas of concern, but the thing I worry about the most is politicians making policies based on ideology that's disconnected from the pragmatism of agriculture. That worries me the most.
I think you hit the nail on the head, and I couldn't have said it any better there, Rob. That was very elegantly put.
Thank you.
I don't have anything else. I think you did a great job, Rob.
Thank you very much. I just really want people to encourage people to download AGvisorPRO. Give it a shot. You say, well, I have my WhatsApp group. Well, you do, but that doesn't connect you to agriculture. And this is a professional agricultural platform. Somebody is going to build the most credible, connected platform for agriculture on the planet Earth. And I still got lots of runway ahead of me, so I intend to be the guy that does that.
And that will wrap up this month's episode of Grand Farmer. We want to thank Rob and Kyle for being on this month's episode. And we also want to thank Grand Farm for energizing this podcast, along with all the Grand Farm's partners. To learn more about Grand Farm, you can visit the website, which is www.grandfarm.com. You can expect new Grand Farmer episodes to release on the 4th week of each month on all audio platforms. We hope you all have a great rest of your day.